Shoot, I don't think I did. Oh, come on. All right. You right there. Okay. All right. I'm live with my haircut. Welcome to Hollywoke Hot Take Live, where we do it live. Getting ready here. Indie Phantom might have to miss this one or will be really late. Curious to see where the BO stands in this wasteland of January. Watch the most generic new Netflix movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I believe that's called The Rip. Let me make sure my sound is rolling. Might have to miss it. All right. Well, I hope you show up later, Indie Phantom. Always good to have you there. Welcome to the live stream where we do it live. I'm Tony D. With me, behind me in the background is Joan of Arc. Joan, you okay back there? You having dinner? Okay. And we do it live here on Hollywoke Hot Take Live, where we go on over the box office. We look at the trades and various headlines and talk about screenwriting if anybody ever asked me another question. Also, I tell you about my week. What did I do this week? I was on a radio program. Still haven't gotten a link to it, but I'll probably get it Monday or something. I was on a show hosted by Barry Sable. I believe it's on 12:10 a.m. locally. So that went really well, and I'll be back on his regular show sometime in the future. I also went to the Blue Rascal on Thursday. That's in Hamilton, New Jersey. It's a distillery. Had a great time there doing an event. And then yesterday I went to a library up in Stratford, PA. Trefidden Library. I can never pronounce that. It was the Sisters of Crime. So shout out to them. They brought me in for a talk. And I did the Jersey Devil talk. We also talked a little bit about writing and publishing. I was supposed to go to lunch with them, but then we got whacked with a bad snowstorm. And they said, just check on your GPS and meet us at the restaurant. And I couldn't get a signal. So I tried it in my car's navigator, and that didn't work. So eventually I had to go home because the roads were really bad. For about those 2 or 3 hours. The roads in Pennsylvania are different from New Jersey. In New Jersey, we spend ridiculous amounts of money on our roads. They're nice and flat. They have a lot of signage. In Pennsylvania, outside of Philly, a lot of the roads go like this and like this because they're super old. And this was like an older town, so it was a bit nuts. I was a little nervous driving out of there, but once I got back to the highway, I was good. Anywho. Let's see if anybody wanders in during the talk of the box office. The box office this week, I'm not sure. I checked it on Friday, and The Bone Temple, 28 years later, The Bone Temple was number 1. Let's see if it held up for the whole weekend. No, it does not. It looks like it was just short. Now, this might change by Sunday, but it looks like 28 years later, The Bone Temple has boned itself. Ha! Yeah, this, I don't know why, but the Critical Drinker says this movie's okay. Like, watchable. I watched 28 Years Later, which is the movie right before this one. Let me tell you, it's one of the worst movies I ever saw. It's brutally bad. Boring. It was exactly what a lot of reviewers said. You know, the first act has a lot of promise, and then it goes nowhere. And that's most disheartening, I think, of all. Like, if you're watching a movie and it's just bad all the way through, I mean, you could kind of have fun with that. You can make fun of the movie, or you can just tune it out, and you're not really, you don't have the expectation and then get let down. But in the case of 28 Years Later, the movie right before this, the movie starts out pretty solidly, and you're expecting to see this thing that, okay, we're going to see something good here. And look, 28 years later, first movie's okay. I think it's a little overrated. I think it's mostly okay because of Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy's great in roles, and he's just a good actor. So he elevates anything he's in. He's the main character in that. It's also a good premise. I'm not sure who came up with it first, but there is The Walking Dead that did the bit in the hospital, and 28 years later. Clint Miller's here. It's good to see you again. Good to see you, Clint. Thanks for tuning in. So I strongly suspect it's probably The Walking Dead, since it was a comic book first. But, and you know, Hollywood guys, they don't usually have any problem doing homages to things they've read or seen or watched. But you know, it was okay. You know, for a movie that was sort of a zombie movie, it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. I hear the sequel's unwatchable, and then you got the third movie, which is, in my view, just terrible. And now you got this movie. Like, why would you make a sequel to this movie? I don't know. Why would you even... I mean, you want to talk about a way that Hollywood should be limiting its risk when they do movies. You don't commit to two movies, two sequels, on a movie that one did gangbusters and the second one did meh. Let's see what the 28 was it 28 weeks later or 28 months later? I guess it was weeks. Yeah. I think it made money. But I think really the money would have been made only because of the first movie. So it looked like it did, looks like 64 plus 25. Yeah, on a $15 million budget. That may be why the movie's not so great, in my view, but 28 days later. So it cost $15 million. You made like 64 when you count the DVD sales. You're looking at another 64 plus 25 be 89. So 89 million against a movie that needed to make 15, 30, say 37. So that's pretty good. Made 50 million. 28 days later, made 82 million on an $8 million budget. So you're talking 16 plus 4, 20 million. So this one made more like $60 million. So I guess I could see why they greenlit another movie, but typically you do these in threes. And here's 28 years later, made 150 million on $60 million. So let's do the math on that. So 60 million, you're looking at 120 plus another 30, 150. So you broke even. Why would you make a sequel to this? Unless the reality is they didn't shoot these movies together because you have a separate director. I was going to say maybe they shot them together and just split the difference in the middle. I don't know. It was never that strong of a premise. Never that strong of a premise in my view. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But that's the second movie this week. Second biggest movie. 28 years later to Bone Temple. Ralph Fiennes. But number one, hanging on to number one for, I think, 5 weeks in a row is Avatar. Avatar, fire and ass, as indie fandom calls it. 13.32 million. It's made 1.3 billion, but again, almost $1 billion of that is overseas. And a lot of that's China. 135 million. I think it must be more than that. But they don't make as much from China. But who knows what they make in some of the other districts in the world. Film districts or whatever they call them. Number 3 is Zootopia, was down at 4, goes back up to 3 for Zootopia 2. 8.7 million. This has been up for 8 weeks in a row. It's been in the top 5 for 8 weeks in a row, 2 months. They don't even keep movies in the theater that long anymore. 2 months? Netflix is talking about keeping movies in the theaters for 45 days, as if that's a long time. This thing's been in theaters 60 days, and it's still the number 3 movie in America? It's going back up the charts? What does that tell you? Zootopia 2. Number 4 is The Housemaid, 8.5 million. They've already greenlit a sequel to this. They couldn't wait for that. This has been out for 5 weeks, too. Number 5, Marty Supreme. I don't think this movie, 5.4 million. I don't think this movie can make its money. It's at 92 million. They spent 70 million making this. How are you going to make your money on that? It's got to make 140 to break even for the budget. Another 35 million for the advertising. That's 175 million. You're about 80 million short, bro. You're about 80 million short, bro. No. Don't think that's money. Number 6, dropping from number 2, dropping 55%, not good, is Primate. $5 million. But this probably didn't cost a lot of money. $23 million it's made for a $24 million movie. It needs to make 48 plus 12, 60 million. Nah, probably not going to make it. Close, though. I mean, at least it came sort of close. I don't know. This is the kind of movie I don't want to see. I don't want to see. I mean, he's essentially a pet who turns on its owners, and then they have to kill him, I assume. I mean, it's just, who wants to see that? It's not scary. It's just sad. And, you know, gross. Because I assume people get their limbs ripped off and their eyeballs pulled out. Number 7, dropping from 5, is Greenland 2 Migration. Oh, in its second week. It's in 8 more theaters and it dropped 60%. Adios, Greenland and Gerard Butler's career. Brutal. $90 million. Holy cats. Whose idea was this? This movie's cooked. $14 million in its second week on $90 million. This thing had to make 200, let's see, 180 plus 45, about 225. It's at 14. You're about $200 million short. Lionsgate. Is anybody going to buy Lionsgate? I doubt it. What do they even have? Number 8, dropping from 7, Anaconda, which probably could have been good. 3.2 million. 121 million. People are seeing it, I guess. On a budget, we don't know the budget. I gotta know the budget of Anaconda. What's the budget of Anaconda with Paul Rudd? I'm gonna guess, I don't know, 40 million? 45 million. It's the same budget as the original 1997 film. No way. That's crazy, AI. All right, so 45 million. So it needs to make 90, and then another half of that, be another 22. So 112 million. Oh, this thing made money. Look at that. If that's true. I mean, it might not be true. Oh, dear God. Are they going to greenlight a sequel? I hope not. I mean, they put Thandie Newton in it. Thandie Newton, like Paul Rudd? Yeah. Jack Black? Sure. Thandie Newton. Thandie Newton's not a comedian. Thandie Newton's not a comic actress. Who would have been good for that? Like Catherine Hahn would have been good for that. Natasha Leggero, who's a stand-up comic, she's been in stuff. Any female stand-up comic would have been fine for that. Whitney Cummings. Christina Applegate, if she wasn't suffering from MS, probably couldn't be in it due to her medical condition, but she would have been great in it too. Elizabeth Shue has done comedy. There's a million actresses. Thandie Newton, I believe this is probably her first comedy. Keke Palmer would have been good. She's done comedies. Thandie Newton, whose like last movie was woker than woke. You can't put woke people in a comedy. You just can't. The moment you know they're woke, the curtain comes down. You realize, oh, they're not going to do anything really edgy. They might do whatever they think is funny. You push one joke too far, oh, they're going to have a talk with HR. Yeah, and then everything grinds to a halt while you argue with them. Next up, SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants, 2.3 million in its 5th week. Doing okay, but not doing gangbusters. SpongeBob I would have expected to have done better. It's only at 144 million. But that's probably money. No Other Choice. This is that South Korean movie. Looks like they just finally dropped it in wider release. 2.2 million. But it already made 22 million overseas, and I assume, yeah, the production budget's 12.2. Now this one would be a little different. I don't know what the split is on South Korean movie theaters. Might be different. And so 29 million might be money. And then add to that, they probably spent advertising in South Korea, but I don't think they spent a ton of money here, if they spent any. For a movie like that, they don't really spend a ton of money on foreign film advertising. I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, but I assume you wouldn't see a commercial for No Other Choice. Unless it won an Oscar or something, then maybe, but... So, that's probably money, or damn close. This movie, Song Sung Blue, 1.7 million in its 4th week. It only made 35 and then 47 million worldwide. I don't think that's money. I think this probably cost a small fortune. Between Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman, it's the budget for Song Sung with Hugh Jackman. 30 million. That sounds a little low, but it's possible because Song Sung Blue, that was it. 30 million, but still you'd need about 60. They advertised the hell out of this thing, so I could see them spending 15 million. So you'd need about 75 million. I think that's a no bueno situation. Mr. Filbert Coffee Esquire is here. Whatever it was too much. Now, look, when you're doing movies, you got to think of, is there an audience? Now, this is Neil Diamond's music. It's all about Neil Diamond's music. Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson get to sing it, and they're big fans. So the question is, does Neil Diamond still have enough fans alive to do that thing? Mr. Filbert says they need to cast younger people in movies. Well, that's a fair point. Kate Hudson was a smoke show back in the day. Hugh Jackman, though, I think he's fine for the audience you're thinking of, because women still like him. He's still in shape. Women sort of skew differently on that sort of scale. So they would see him as virile. They see him as a guy who could take off his shirt and the ladies go, ooh. But yeah, for Kate Hudson, Kate Hudson's kind of too old if you wanted, like, guys to be like, oh, Kate Hudson. Mr. Filbert, they cornered the market on 70-year-old. What? I don't know what you mean. No one in that movie's 70. Not sure why you would bring in why. I don't even know if any of them are Jewish. Are we talking about the same thing? So you would greenlight this based on whether or not Neil Diamond's audience was big enough, right? You would say, are there enough Neil Diamond fans? Now, he had hundreds of thousands, probably millions and millions of fans at one point. He's the guy who sung Sweet Caroline. Mr. Filbert, Neil Diamond is. Okay? But he's not in the movie. I don't think. If he is, there's probably he can't be in the movie, I don't think, because it's about guys who cover him. So you'd have to do the math on, are there enough Neil Diamond fans alive? Like, if you had done this back in the 80s when Sweet Caroline was hot, mainly because of Top Gun, then I think you would have had a shot. But even back then, Neil Diamond music was considered, that would be on the oldies station. This is 40 years later. 40 years later, I mean, I don't even know what station he plays on. I mean, yeah, it would be oldies, but now it's not stations anymore. It's Sirius FM, and it's like they've got the 40 station, the 50 station, the 60 station, the 70 station, stuff like that. Mr. Filbert, I guess no. Yeah, I would say it's probably too late to do this movie unless Hugh Jackman is like an amazing singer. Now, I've heard he is a pretty good singer, and when they did the Johnny Cash movie, and who was that? That was what's his face, Joaquin Phoenix, right? Joaquin Phoenix is Johnny Cash. People kind of liked his cover of one of the Johnny Cash songs he did. And but this, I don't think it has the same cachet. Mr. Filbert, not to mention he already did his own bio movie, Jazz something or other. Oh, was he the jazz singer? No, I think that was something else. But yeah, I think you're right. I think, this is based on a true story, the Song Sung Blue movie. I just think it's too late for it. It would have been good to do the movie very early in their career, which I think took place in the 90s, I'm going to say. That would have been sort of the last era that you would have gotten enough Neil Diamond fans, because the characters in Song Sung Blue are based on real people who did that, I think, back in the late 80s, early 90s. And that was still when he was very nostalgic, although he was still touring. So I think they missed this movie by a good 30 years. The window closed 30 years ago, and now they put the movie out and go, oh, why don't people like Neil Diamond? I guess people hate Neil Diamond now. No, it's just that movie executives have no sense of the zeitgeist anymore. They literally, I think, just look at, and I've heard this from a friend who worked at Disney. They have these giant books of IPs that they go through to see what the studio already owns to make either remake or to make a movie about. So maybe it was the case, who made it? Focus Features. Maybe Focus Features or whatever company they're owned by had the catalog of Neil Diamond, and they said, oh, we could make this movie, and we got all the music, why not? I gotta say, I might have greenlit the movie, but $90 million? That sounds like way too much to spend on it. Number like 13 is David, the animated movie from Angel Studios. Made 77 million on a $60 million production budget, basically. It's not going to make its money, but might make it up and down the road. After that is This Thing On from Searchlight. This is the Bradley Cooper directed movie starring Will Arnett. I really like Will Arnett. He's very funny. Him playing a stand-up comic, though, in a serious movie, yeah, I kind of don't want to see that. I want to see him play a ridiculous character again. But this movie made 5.3 million, and I'm not sure what it cost, but it costs way more than that. I gotta imagine. It has Bradley Cooper's in it. He directs it. Will Arnett's in it. I think Laura Dern's in it. Right there, it's got more than 5 million. I don't think that could make its money at all. I like Bradley Cooper. I wish he'd go back to comedy, but I mean, he's trying to be a serious director, I guess. JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. Oh, it's a bloodbath in the box office, JEC. Number, I don't know, 15. All You Need Is Kill. This is a animated movie, anime movie. $431,000, $431,839 against a budget I'm sure much bigger, but it probably made its money in Japan already. Madagascar. Oh, that's the cartoon. They brought that back to make. It already made its money. But they made $406,000. It's weird. Mr. Filbert, I don't see one thing on the list I'd even watch for free. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Yeah, I wouldn't watch any of these movies. Zootopia, kind of. I don't know. I mean, I could sit through Zootopia too, but I don't think I'd want to watch it. JC, All You Need Is Kill is what that one Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, is based on. Oh, right. I think I did read. Oh, interesting. I think I did read the write-up on it and think that to myself. So that was stolen from that, I guess, essentially. Not stolen. Homage. JC, no one rushed out to see Bone Temple? Yeah, get Bone Temple. Apparently not. It was going to be the number one movie. It was going to unseat Avatar. It did for Friday, but looked like it came up short of their predictions. Now, this isn't 100% because these are based on Sunday's predictions, which haven't come in yet. So tomorrow, it could creep over, but I'm guessing it won't. I don't. The 28 Years Later is such a bad movie in my view. It's so bad, so boring, and the ending's just nothing. It just ends. It's like somebody reached over and grabbed the plug. Okay, that's enough movie, and just pulled it right out. It just stops. Then is The Testament of Anne Lee. No interest in seeing that. $336,000. It's a musical with Amanda Seyfried. I think I don't know. They look like they're pilgrims or Mormons or, I don't know, Amish. I don't know. It looks stupid to me. Wicked for Good, somehow still in theaters. In its 9th week, $307,000. The Coral, that's another indie movie. $305,000. Five Nights at Freddy 2, also somehow in movie theaters, $288,000. Look at the number of movie theaters. 700 here, 400 there, 500 there. It's like these guys don't even know. They're so desperate, they don't even know what to play in the movie theaters anymore. Like, normally, it would be jammed up with all the same movies. It looks like everybody's playing different movies in a desperate attempt. Oh, somebody's got to see this. Here's Night Patrol from IFC, 255K. Filbert, I remember when I was a teenager, some theaters played hardcore porn. Maybe they should try that. I don't think people would go to see a hardcore porn in the theaters anymore, simply because I think part of the cachet was there was nobody else who had hardcore porn, and they had to go to theaters to see it. So now that you can watch it at home and do whatever to yourself, why would you go into a theater and risk getting arrested, I assume? Like Pee Wee Herman. Night Patrol, though, actually looks kind of good. I assume it's not, because I assume everything sucks these days. But the write-up is, an LAPD officer must put aside his differences with the area's street gangs when he discovers a local police task force is harboring a horrific secret that endangers the residents and housing projects he grew up in. So basically, it's Justin Long, and he finds out that the Night Patrol is actually, they're all vampires. And they've been killing people in the projects, and they're cops at the same time somehow. And now it's the gangs and this one cop against the vampires. So, you know, it sounds like it could be cool. It also sounds like it could be a clunky metaphor for the cops are all bad, which I don't want to see. But I do like vampire movies. So while I don't have any I don't have any confidence in Justin Long picking a good movie to star in, judging by his track record, I wouldn't mind checking it out on streaming if I didn't have to pay for it. So there's one. Uh-oh. Looks like Guest Dog just blundered in here. What do you want? What, you okay? That's okay. So, maybe on Night Patrol. Although I have a sneaking suspicion there's a bunch of woke crap in it. The Secret Agent is Oscar bait from Brazil, I think. 179K. I Was a Stranger. Angel Studios, 160K. I kind of written off Angel Studios. I kind of can't get past what they did to Animal Farm and that they were involved in that project at all. Really, really disappointing. Angel Studios looked to be like the new sort of conservative Hollywood studio that was going to do nothing but, quality movies. And then they go do Animal Farm, the cartoon, which, in my view, looked like it was trying to rewrite communism a little bit and the history. I just thought, yeah, what the hell, man? I assume they made a bunch of money, but I mean, the whole point of Angel Studios to me was to sort of stick to a line in the sand, and that seemed to me to cross it. All That's Left of You from Watermelon. This is a new one on me. West Bank, 1988. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so this takes place in Gaza. So you can imagine how much fun that movie is. Father, Mother, Sister, Brother. Sort of an indie film, 71K. Sentimental Value, which is all over the Oscars. It won a bunch of awards in the last award show, whatever the hell it was. 50K. Chronology of Water, directed by Kristen Stewart, 44K. Resurrection from Janus Films, $25,900. Magellan, $23,200. It Was Just an Accident, which I still do want to see. 14K. It's been out for 14 weeks. Sound of Falling premieres all the way near the bottom for $11,000, $11,895 in one theater. And this is a remote German farm harbors generations of secrets. Four women separated by decades, but united by trauma, uncover the truth behind its weathered walls. It doesn't sound like something for me, but whatever. Obex, $7,000. And Mistress Dispeller at the bottom, $1,990, still in 3 theaters. For a grand total of $73,707,787. And probably 77 cents. There's a lot of sevens in that. Somebody trying to tell me something? I don't like 7, though. That's not my number. 13 is my number, as you all know. All right. So that is terrible. But this is January. It's still better than that October weekend. So you got to give it that. Each week has been better than October last year, which is surprising because you figure people would go to the movies in October to see some scary movies, but they didn't. So more people are going to see the movies now. I guess, people kind of do want to get out and do something, and there's not a lot to do in the winter. Unless you're a skier or a person who loves slush. There's a bunch of slush outside in South Jersey. It's kind of nasty out. I got to go clear my car after this. But, yeah, I guess. That would be weird. How about that? That the movie industry kind of dilapidates a little bit, and then the new hot time of year to release a movie is January because nobody has anything to do. All right, let's look at some trades and some headlines. I grabbed this headline because I thought it was funny. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon criticize cancel culture's permanent consequences. The duo discussed their views on public shaming while promoting their new Netflix crime thriller, The Rip. So imagine making a cool movie where cops are stealing drugs and people are crooked and there's shooting, and then you decide to give an interview about public shaming. Is this what the PR people are doing to these celebrities? No, you can't talk about the movie. You got to talk about public shaming on the internet. I don't know why they would want to do this. The 2 Academy Award winners appeared on a podcast to promote their latest film, The Rip, which premiered on Netflix Friday. Loosely based on a true story. You think they'd want to talk about the story. The crime thriller tells the story of a group of Miami police officers who find millions of dollars, leading to the officers questioning who they can trust. Mr. Filbert. Now that liberals are getting canceled, they care. Yeah, but they're not even really getting canceled. I wouldn't say they're getting canceled. I think that's the excuse that celebrities use now. Oh, it wasn't that I didn't do good work. You see, some internet trolls hated the movie and they were all against me. No. The problem is the institution of Hollywood itself has taken so many hits. Who wants to, you guys probably aren't old enough to remember the days when Hollywood was really a thing. When Hollywood put out a movie, people were like, oh, there's a new movie out? They'd get excited. And they'd want to, if Arnold Schwarzenegger was in a movie, me and my friends would go nuts. Oh, there's a new Arnold movie out. Well, what is it? And we'd talk about it, and then we'd probably gear up to go see it. And nobody does that anymore not with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Now, part of it's not their fault. It's the time at which they exist. But part of it's their fault for endlessly talking about politics. Matt Damon said one base thing a while back. Get out of here, you. What are you sniffing at? Don't sniff at the trash can. That's not for you. This is guest dog, by the way, Stella. Oh, you're such a good dog, Stella. But stay out of the trash. Okay? Stay out of the trash. All right, go away. No. No. Go in there. I don't have anything for you. I can't play with you now. Go. 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 Mr. Filbert, that's the excuse for every Disney failure. They blame the fans. Well, yeah. We'll be talking about Kathleen Kennedy, I'm sure, in the coming headlines. Kathleen Kennedy blames everybody but herself. It's terrible. I mean, these people are so insanely powerful and rich. You just think, how can they make mistakes like this? How can you turn... It's just pure hubris, in my view. Just pure arrogance. That she thought she could take Star Wars, that is aimed 90% at men, turn it on a dime. Oh, now women will like it. We'll turn it into a lifestyle brand. They'll all love it. And the men, they'll see it too, because they have no choice. Because women are in charge now. How's that working out? Oh, right. You've destroyed the male audience. You know, there's some men that still go see these movies because they're, I don't know, there's just so much momentum for them. I think they desperately want to see this stuff. They go see it with like, oh, please be good. Please be good. And they're looking up on the screen going, well, that wasn't too bad. Well, that piece of dialogue was cringe, but, you know, I get what he's trying to do. The bar is just so low now. They're willing to go and, I guess, spend their money. But not me. No way. Screw that noise. All right, looking at the fandom pulse. UK government's anti-extremism game backfires as villain Amelia becomes viral nationalist icon. So, Sargon of Akkad played this game, and a few others did too. So the idea behind the game... Oh, Jesus. I didn't know that was going to be in the picture. The idea behind the game was you're playing, and it was supposed to be aimed at men. And this is how stupid the people are, the woke people are, when trying to address men. And this is why it's mostly the women doing this. Because they have no idea how to talk to men. Yes, men don't know how to talk to women, a lot of them, in some respects. But they figure it out eventually. Because they have to. Because we have to figure out how to talk to women. We eventually do. We eventually figure out enough of the language. Women almost never have to figure out how to talk to men, really. And especially for things like this. Because women, you know, only recently, and I mean recently, within the last 50 years, really gained significant power in politics and society and areas like the movie industry. And now they're making memes all about Amelia. And so they're trying to address men as an audience, and they just keep failing at it. Or they're so lame at it, they do something like this. So they create this video game, and the idea is to get men to stop going online and getting radicalized, because these people in the UK government think, well, the problem is not that we've filled the country with illegal immigrants, communism, and we tell the men every day they're worthless pieces of S and should be ashamed of themselves. No. The problem is they see stuff on the internet and they get ideas. So what we need to do is give them better ideas. Well, what do men like? Well, they like video games. So let's make a video game. So the video game is about choices, right? So it's like a guy, he's going on the internet, he's talking to people, and then you have to make choices. So Sargon played the game, and he tried to make the most base choices he could. And I think Asmongold played it too. But the game is not really a game. It's forcing you down a path to realize, oh, you're a terrible person, and you should accept all the communism and illegal immigrants and all the wokeness that we're shoving down your throat. You should accept it. And you should allow, everyone to be exactly the same because everybody's equal in every capacity, and you're all just like cogs, and we're going to have digital ID, and we're going to be just like China. We're going to tell you how to live your life, and you're just going to do it and be happy, and everything will work out because communism has to work this time. Needless to say, everybody is laughing at the game. So one of the characters in the game is Amelia. So Amelia leads your character down a bad path, right? Because she's pretty and she's based and she's in all these groups in the UK that are flying the British flag and, saying right-wing things. But eventually they turn it up to 11, and then by the end of it, Amelia's dressed apparently in one of these uniforms from the bad guys from Germany. So now they've turned her into a hero, so to speak. Not because of the bad guys from Germany uniform per se, but because they are, they're just a bunch of try-too-hards when it comes to men. So the UK government is just full of communist morons that need to be taken out of power and never given power again. Unfortunately, they won't go quietly. They're already trying to eliminate jury trials. They've thrown people in jail for Facebook posts. They've done horrific things already, and it may get worse. They're destroying people's lives economically. It's terrible. It's no joke. So I feel bad for the people of the UK. And I hope things turn around for them very soon. It looks like they're going to still have to wait another 2 or 3 years. So, Godspeed, UK. The Lord of the Rings returns to theaters and sells out. A reminder what Hollywood has forgotten. Yeah, why isn't Lord of the Rings on this list? It was on the list last week. I guess that was just for last week. I guess it's already out. So, Lord of the Rings is great. I still love the Lord of the Rings movies. Apparently, it was a little, I don't know, I guess it had a little bit more stuff in it. Probably they're pushing this to promote the Gollum movie that's coming out soon. Kathleen Kennedy says the new sequel trilogy likely to move forward. Movie is rumored to feature Rey. Now, understand that Kathleen Kennedy is still a producer on a movie. So, Hollywood hasn't learned a damn thing. She's still a producer. She's not leaving the business. Although I think she should. If there was any justice in the world, she wouldn't be allowed to make a movie anywhere else on the planet. But, unless she used her own money or something. But instead, I think part of her deal to leave is probably, okay, you can make the Rey movies. Or at least one of them. They might have given her, okay, we'll give you $200 million to make the Rey movie, but it better make money this time. And she went, yeah, no, this time it's going to make money. I'm going to fill it full of so much feminism. Oh, wait till you see all the feminism in this one. It'll be 10 times more than the other movies. Or, this is a graceful exit for her. Maybe they have banned her from the movie industry, and they plan on canceling this project so she has a legitimate gripe and she could say, oh, this movie would have been amazing. Personally, I don't care if they make it or not. I know if they make it, it'll suck. I know that. I know I won't go see it. I don't care what you say about it. I would rather she just fade away. And, you want to talk about people in their 70s who are still making stuff. Look, there are very few people in their 70s that are creatively dynamic. When you're in your 70s in the movie industry, I think your role should be, at that point, you should be able to pick talent. Has Kathleen Kennedy exhibited any traits of picking talent ever? I haven't seen it. When she was in charge, the talent she picked, in my view, sucked. You might be able to make an argument for Daisy Ridley. She's kind of pretty, but I haven't seen her in one good movie. Now, I think she's been horribly miscast. I think if they had put her in a movie where she was like the girlfriend or the wife or some hot chick, maybe. Or the girl next door. Probably more the girl next door than the hot chick. She's not all that hot, but she can do the girl next door. I think if she got a good script, she'd be fine, but Kathleen Kennedy, man, I don't know what to say about her other than goodbye. Another big thing this week was the Games Workshop doubling down on injecting woke feminism into Warhammer. Sargon also did a big video on this. Look at the face on this figure. Look at the face. It's like some Karen. They might as well call these the Karen Custodes. They're called Custodes, by the way. They're like Warhammer warriors that guard the Emperor or something. So they made some. They're never supposed to be women. Like, ever. The whole game. Look, again, this is all for men. This is all for men. 100% Warhammer, top to bottom, was for men. Simple. I have seen dozens and dozens of Warhammer games, because I go to these big shows sometimes, and they'll have a section of wargaming, and a lot of it will be Warhammer, and I'll look. There's not a woman in sight, ever. I've never seen a woman in that room. Now, in comics, you'll see a handful of women, a handful of fangirls. In card games, Magic cards, you'll get a couple of women who play. I've never seen a woman play Warhammer, ever, in all my travels. And I've been doing this for like 30 years. Never once did I see a woman play Warhammer, ever. I've been to the Warhammer store. There used to be one in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Didn't see any women in there. I used to get White Dwarf. That was a Warhammer adjacent publication that they put out. Mainly I got it for Dungeons & Dragons stuff, but there'd be Warhammer stuff in there. Didn't see any women in the magazine. What the hell are you doing? Now, according to Sargon, the people who run Games Workshop, which is the company that owns Warhammer, are woke top to bottom. They would love to feminize the entire game, but they realize it would destroy the game simultaneously. And the rumor is what they're trying to do is Henry Cavill has either a movie or a series coming out based on Warhammer, and that they needed to put more women in the show, movie, or whatever it is. So they did this to give him an opening to put women in it. Now, I don't know the lore of the game that well. I'm sure there's women in that world, but why not explore that? Because it could be very interesting, even though they're not warriors, that they are the support for the warriors, right? Maybe they're in charge of breeding. Because, it's a very tough universe. They're in charge of making sure there's plenty of new space marines, and that they have contests about who could breed the best kids and have the best, strongest kids or something like that. Like, you could see something like that. But, okay, Games Workshop, if you want to lose your entire audience to Space King, I'm fine with that, because the guys who run Space King are hilarious. And if you haven't seen Space King, you really should. Because I would play a game they put out. Oh, 100%. You put out a Space King game, sign me up. Sign me right the F up. This looks like garbage. Looks like total garbage. And their fans are roasting them for it. They're just roasting them for it. Keep roasting them, I say. And then this. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. Star Trek Woke Fleet Academy dropped, finally. And it's woker than anything Alex Kurtzman put out for Star Trek ever. Like, it's like drive off a cliff woke. And Robert Picardo's in it. He's the actor on the left. He used to play the hologram doctor. I think he's playing the human that the hologram doctor was based on. I think. I don't know. I don't watch the show. Tim Russ was the Black Vulcan in the Voyager series, who was fine in the series, but he's got TDS real bad. I'm sure he's going to end up on Starfleet Woke Academy or whatever it is, because it just looks god awful. I've seen clips from it. There's an actual clip of a DEI session where a woman character that can only be described as an older lesbian is lecturing her class on accepting people, and it feels very much like one of those DEI struggle sessions. Very much like it. And anyone who wrote that scene who thought it would be, oh boy, this is exciting, or oh boy, this is entertaining, should be drummed out of show business forever, because they don't know what they're doing. Nobody wanted to see that, unless that hectoring lesbian character gets her comeuppance at the end of the show, which of course she doesn't. It's no way to run a space universe, I could tell you that, in my view. So people were all over the internet blasting the show, and of course Robert Picardo, who apparently didn't get the memo that you shouldn't start fights on the internet, is arguing and trying to defend the show and getting very mad because, as we all know, you don't feed the trolls. And I would tell Robert Picardo that. If I was working on the show, I would say, Robert, you're not going to do any good arguing with these idiots. And everybody on the internet's an idiot, I'd say. You're not gonna make any progress. You're not going to argue and argue and argue with them and then suddenly go, you know what, you're right. You know what, you're right. This is a good show. That's never going to happen. Ever. In the history of the internet, it's never happened. And I've been on arguments on the internet, but that was back in the 90s when it was new, and I didn't know what I was doing either. So Robert Picardo either just got off the internet or he just hasn't learned his lesson. Now, you can go to Blue Sky and stay in your liberal bubble, I guess, talking to other liberals about liberal things and say, oh, we're so right and virtuous, aren't we? Yes, we are. Hey, did you watch the new Star Trek, Starfleet Academy? No, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm probably going to watch it tomorrow. They'll never watch the show. And that's the big problem. Just because you're woke and wonderful doesn't mean your show's any good, even to the people you're aiming it at. So you can have a Star Trek fan who's woker than woke. They're out in Minnesota screaming at people and screaming at ICE agents. But they could get 10 minutes into the show and go, this is kind of boring. I think I'm going to watch something else. Because that's the way of the world. That's the way of television. People don't have to watch your stupid show unless it's entertaining and they feel compelled to watch it. It has to be compelling and entertaining. It's not compelling and entertaining to get lectured by some actress who's playing an older lesbian. It's just not. It's just stupid. It's just dumb. The whole scene is dumb. Star Trek is about science fiction. It's supposed to explore strange new worlds and set up things. It's not supposed to give us, well, this feels like an HR meeting I had the other day, and that was uncomfortable too. Only I couldn't leave that one, but hey, I can live my fantasy by leaving this one. Click. That's all you're going to get. Why would you do this? And Tim Russ, I don't know, he's thrown it in with the side of TDS, and I guess he just wants a role on the show. Sure, give him one. I don't care. I'm never going to watch it. This is going to be the only season of it, I can guarantee, because they put it on YouTube for free. That is a brand new show. Okay? A brand new show. No one's seen it yet, and they put it on YouTube. 1,300 continuous viewers, and I believe the final total was 18,000 viewers. Right? So at one point, 1,300 people were simultaneously viewing the show, but they've only gotten about 18,000 hits on the show. That does not translate into a lot of viewers. Even if you said every person in that 18,000 watched the show from beginning to end, which it didn't. Some people clicked on it by accident. Some people got a couple of minutes in and went, oh, I don't want to watch this. You know. So you got 18,000 people. That's not enough for ratings. Just not enough. You need hundreds of thousands of people at minimum. At minimum. Really, you should have millions. You should. It's Star Trek. If it was any good, you'd have 1 million people. Oh my God, it would have broke the internet. If you had done that, for instance, if you had, say, before they did that stupid Picard show, which was just as woke, instead of doing a Picard show, they announced, oh, we're going to do a Next Generation reunion show where you see the cast on one last adventure together. That would have broke the internet. Sure. Those characters were popular enough. And in fact, in the 3rd season of Picard, they got so desperate, they brought back the old cast and finally did what they should have done in the beginning. I don't think they intended to do that when the show launched, by the way. But I digress. So this show is going to be, I can already write the headlines now. It's going to be one of the lowest rated shows in Nielsen's. It won't do anything except damage the brand even further. Paramount, I think, is stupid for allowing this to air because it's under their banner. And they just got bought. And Skydance Paramount could have just said, oh, we're going to shelve this show. It's no good. I guess they wanted some of their money back. I don't think you're going to get much of it back. In fact, I think it just did further damage to the brand. So, good luck with that. And here's Kathleen Kennedy again. Kathleen Kennedy reveals James Mangold's Jedi and Force origin story on hold. Thank God. James Mangold is the guy who did that indie movie, that last indie movie. No bueno. Big no bueno. I mean, I don't know who else you could pin that on. I think you got to pin it on Kathleen Kennedy, James Mangold, Harrison Ford. I'd definitely pin some of it on Harrison Ford. Speaking of which, he was on X. I don't think he posted it. Somebody else posted like a repeat of his statement. He made like some big statement about Donald Trump today. And Razor Fist was making fun of it, of course. What a sad fall from grace for Harrison Ford. I mean, really, one of my icons back in the day. And when you told me Harrison Ford was in a movie, I was like, tell me about this movie. I want to see it. Now, dude, why would you cook your legacy this way? Blade Runner, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, all cooked. Are you going to go back and do a Cisco Kid now and ruin that for me too? You might as well. You might as well. I ain't going to see it though. But good. I hope this is on hold forever, Disney. If you're smart, you'll never make it. But I don't think Disney's very smart these days. They don't seem to make a lot of smart decisions. Variety. Marty Supreme breaks A24 record. Highest grossing movie in North America with 80 million. Is that true? Was it 80 million? Yeah, 92 million. Oh, 80 million domestically. I guess. I mean, but when you spend how much money again? Wasn't it 90 million? Yeah. Well, you spent 70 million but that's not making you didn't make 90 million. You made half that. So this is an illusion in my view. You made 46 million on 70 million dollars. That's not really breaking much of a record. And you have to make 112 million to break even? No, 70 million, 175? Wait, how much does it cost again? 70, so 140 plus 35, 175. Yeah, you need 175 million to break even for the advertising. This thing's been advertised. Oh, I can believe they spent 37 million on this. They spent a lot of money on this, and it's going to get an Oscar. Hands down, it's going to get an Oscar. Somewhere there's an Oscar in there. Probably, I'm guessing Timothée Chalamet. Robert Downey Jr. praised him. So, said his performance is groundbreaking. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look like a great movie, right? It just looks like a movie. I mean, it might be competent. But quite frankly, it's been so hyped, I'm kind of already exhausted by it, and I haven't even seen a scene from it. But, yeah, I might stumble upon it in my travels one day and watch it. But I don't think this is good, financially speaking. I mean, it broke a record. Okay, it's your highest grossing movie at 80 million. But it didn't gross. I mean, it didn't make $80 million. It made $80 million gross. But you had to split that with the movie theaters. So, gross, okay. I mean, if you just look at the gross numbers, you could say, yeah, you made $10 million. But that's not what it cost. You still got to add the advertising. And it's not like you're going to have Marty Supreme action figures to sell. I don't think. It'd be pretty funny if they did. This was an interesting headline. Matt Damon says Netflix wants movies to restate the plot 3 or 4 times in the dialogue because the viewers are on their phones while they're watching. That is mostly true. They're definitely distracted, but I think they're distracted because the movies aren't very good. I mean, there are some movies, yeah, I'll totally tune out and start looking at my phone. But I didn't do that for the recent movie Sisu Road to Revenge because it's pretty compelling. I mean, I like it. It's over-the-top violence. I definitely didn't do it on the first movie. Holy cow, the first movie's amazing. Second movie's pretty amazing. Not as amazing, but pretty good. I'm sure we could all name our favorite movies. We wouldn't never look at our phones while it was playing, right? Animal House. I couldn't look at my phone while I'm watching Animal House. It's just too funny. I love every scene in Animal House. The reason people are watching on their phones is because the movie's just not that compelling. So, they're big, bloated budgets that, about stories that people sort of barely care about. It's just stuff you got greenlit. I mean, you got greenlit The Rip. Okay. It's based on a true story about some Miami officers that steal money or drugs or whatever. Okay. That hasn't been done before. Oh, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, they're in it? No, that hasn't happened before. I mean, there's not a lot new there. I mean, at least the Justin Long movie has vampires in it. Come on, man. Give us something. Give us something to watch. What is this? Matt Damon says getting canceled will follow you to the grave. I bet some of those people would have preferred to go to jail for 18 months instead. I vaguely remember him getting canceled, but I also remember him like, didn't he apologize? Look, these people just haven't gotten the memo. Matt Damon, let me explain it to you. You're rich and you're famous. Every friggin' interview with you should go like this. Oh, hey, thanks for having me. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks so much to the fans. Like, every interview, that should be your attitude. Like, I don't want to hear a complaint out of your mouth because you're rich and you're famous and you've made it. I don't want to hear you complain, ever. I don't care what has happened to you. Never complain, ever. Be nothing but positive. You can talk about your new movie. I would like you to talk about your movie. Never talk about politics. Never talk about current events. If anyone asked you, say, I don't talk about politics on a podcast or whatever. No, I don't think people want to hear my opinions on that. That should be your answer. 100%. Every time. No matter what the issue is. I don't care if aliens are invading Earth and they're murdering everybody. When someone asks you, what do you think of these aliens coming down to Earth to murder people? You should just be like, well, I don't think people want to hear my thoughts on the war. Like, just don't, I'm here to talk about a movie, not what's happening to millions of people worldwide. Somebody asks you about current events and geopolitical politics in the Middle East, you just say, I'm an actor. I act. That's what I'm doing. Ask me about acting, please. Somebody keeps pressing you, that's when you end the interview. Simple. It's simple. You're going to talk to me about cancel culture? You're Matt Damon. Matt Damon. I think South Park did more damage than you being canceled. I can't look at you without laughing at you now. Just go be famous. Just go live your life with your millions and millions and millions of dollars. And have a great time. I won't fault you for having a great time. Some people will. So you should probably keep that on the down low too. But if you come onto a podcast, the only thing you should talk about is the movie, how you're grateful to all your fans, how it's so great to work in Hollywood, how everything is great. That's it. Should be completely 100% positive. Should pull a Jennifer Lawrence. Do what she did. She said, it finally dawned on her, you know what? I don't think people want my political opinions anymore. And I was like, yeah, we want to see you naked, Jen. Again, please be naked more before you're too old that I don't want to say it. I don't want to hear Matt Damon's opinions. Like, there was a time back in the 90s, maybe, if you let one opinion squeak out, okay, you could let it go. These days, no. I don't want to know what your opinion is on the Minnesota Somali fraud. Because first off, I suspect I already know what your opinion is. You hate Trump, you want the migrants to live in our country forever, and there'd be no border wall or whatever. I don't want to know if that's your opinion. Just stop. You can't give an honest opinion, and here's why. You're there to promote the movie. That's it. You think, and I think a lot of celebrities, I'm not trying to pick on just him, but celebrities in general, they think they got a read of the room, right? Oh, it seems like everybody hates ICE and they really want these Somalis to get off. Oh, well, I'm going to join in on that. You're reading the room wrong because you're listening to stupid PR people who are just as clueless as you about current events because they either watch the news or they scan it on their phones and they're looking at the same curated news sources, and you get sucked into it. And yeah, you could turn on the TV and have all your views confirmed. They're all wrong. They're probably all wrong. Because the TV news lies to you all day long. Now, I have relatives who still watch TV, and whenever we get into a political argument, they say, "How are you right?" and everything on TV is wrong. And I say, "Well, I don't get my news from TV anymore. I get it from the internet." "Oh, the internet. The internet has the answer to everything." And they make fun of me, and that's usually the end of the conversation. So you can't really discuss it with these people. Well, what you can do, Matt, and celebrities, is you could just assume you don't know what you're talking about. Assume that every time you do this, the only people who are going to reinforce that you did a good job are the people who already see your movies, right? Your agent, your publicist, your assistant, all the people around, the interviewer who interviews you from an entertainment newspaper like Variety, and they have the same opinions. Everyone around you in Southern California has the same damn opinion. There's like 5 Republicans somewhere hiding out, I assume, in a dark enclave where they can never see the light of day for somebody to go, "Oh, Republican, get him!" So, just stop. Just stop talking about everything. Just talk about your movie. You can talk about how awesome life is in general. You know, if you go out and do something nice for people, like, "Oh, the other day I bought bicycles for some children I had met on the street, and they didn't have any bikes. So I went to the bike store and I bought them all a new bike." Perfectly valid story. I don't care. That's a good story. That's a story I can hear. I can't hear about your damn opinions anymore, Matt. I just can't. I can't give you a pass. Just stop talking about politics. Stop talking about Trump. Whenever somebody mentions Trump, say, "I don't talk politics anymore. I'm done talking politics. Please don't ask me about politics." That's all you have to say. When they do the old, "Well, some people say you support Trump if you won't talk about him," say, "Look, I'm no longer talking about politics because it's divisive and everybody gets mad. I will talk about the soup kitchen I worked at on Saturday, and I doled out some soup to some poor people, and I felt bad, so I handed out $100 bills too." Like, that's a story I can get behind, because that's you being cool as a rich guy. Now, you may not have the time to go to a soup kitchen and spend all afternoon and pass out $100 bills. You may be too rich to even want to do it. I don't blame you. If I was that rich, I have to be honest, I probably wouldn't go to a soup kitchen and hand out $100 bills and ladle soup. I'd probably be like, "I really don't want to do this. I have an awesome life now that I have lots of millions and millions of dollars. I think I want to just rent a roller coaster and ride it all day," or something like that. I mean, you could do cool stuff like that. Go out, rent a roller coaster. Slap down $10,000 and say, "Here, let everybody ride all day for free." Yeah, you ride it a couple of times too, and then say, "All right, enjoy." That would be a cool video. I would applaud that. Not this. Stop. Sorry. Had to get a little ranty. And then I looked at the next headline. SNL mocks Trump's Nobel Prize envy. Colin Jost, unhinged Pete Hegseth promises USA going to F countries. I don't care. Stop doing articles about SNL, please. Can I ask you to just please stop doing an article about every SNL sketch? You got more articles about SNL sketches, I think, than the amount of viewers you got on the damn show at this point. Just stop. CBS News ready to unveil delayed 60 Minutes report that pit correspondence against Chief. Okay. I don't know why they are so desperate to take down CBS News. Barry Weiss is liberal. Now, she's not a crazy liberal. She's not a communist liberal. She's just a normal liberal. She left the New York Times because it was too communist. It's in her op-ed that she wrote the day she left. So she's just trying to restore balance to the news. And it seems like everybody in Hollywood, especially, and in the media, are like talking about like she's destroying news. It's absolutely woke-tarded. Give the woman a chance. Now, I think the news will still be biased under her towards liberals, but at least it'll be less biased. She's trying to investigate things, I think. But holy cats, you people are nuts for going at her. You're driving her right to the other side. Box office Avatar remains #1 in fifth weekend as 28 years later, Bone Temple stumbles with $13 million debut. Okay. There you go. It's confirmed in Variety, so it must be true. Man, I am farting up a storm. I had steak stromboli for dinner, and it was delicious. Whew. Need a fan in here. Yeah, so it looks like Sunday's numbers, once confirmed, aren't going to change that. But we'll see in Hollywoke Hot Take tomorrow, when it's not live. Ben Affleck had food poisoning while shooting goodbye scene with Bruce Willis in Armageddon. Okay, that's a acceptable story because it's about the movie. I mean, I don't really feel all that sorry for him. It happens. I don't know why it happens. You're on a craft services sort of thing. Thought these people get paid all kinds of crazy money to feed you, but I suppose it can happen. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know why you would shoot Armageddon at all, but let's see. More on a landman. Billy Bob Thornton on arguing with Andy Garcia in Landman, and award show snubbing Taylor Sheridan shows because they assume he's a right-wing guy. So that's stupid. Are we going to have to form a separate award show just to give awards to shows that aren't leftist? It doesn't seem to make any sense, Hollywood. This is why nobody watches your award show and why the Oscars are going to YouTube. But speaking of TDS, Green Day to kick off Super Bowl 60 opening ceremony. I used to like these guys, I have to admit, way back in the day, way back in the 90s, before everybody got woke and stupid. Now, no bueno. I don't listen to them anymore. I go out of my way not to listen to their music. It used to be that once in a while I would listen to Green Day, and I have not listened to Green Day for so long on YouTube, it's out of my algorithm. And believe me, it takes forever to get something out of your algorithm if you listen to music on YouTube. It takes effing forever. So, these guys are now old and very much full of TDS, I believe. JEC, Dookie and Nimrod were good albums. They were. But I avoid them. Just like I avoid Rage Against the Machine, which I used to love, by the way. I used to love Rage Against the Machine. Not that I was a commie, but that the music was so angry. And I love the angry music. But now I think they're a bunch of phonies, so I can't listen to them at all. Francis Ozon's The Stranger tops Francis Luminary Awards as Richard Linklater wins Best Director with Nouvelle Vague, or Vague. Yeah, that takes place in France, so there you go. I guess that's the French Oscars, the Luminaires, or is that Cannes? I don't know. Don't care. Here's something else I don't care about. K-pop demon hunters hop on Blind Bucks trend with new mystery box pins. Absolutely no interest in that. So, again, it all comes back to comic books. I don't know why the world of pop culture is collapsing into comic books and doing everything comic books has done. But this is a thing that happens at comic book conventions. You ready? There are guys who have tons of comics, right? And when you are a comic book guy and you're a dealer and you go into these events, you have way too many comics, right? Some comics you buy, they're hot at the moment, and then they go out of vogue, but you still have a few hundred of them. some comics, they were part of a collection. You really only wanted one comic, but you bought the whole collection. So you got a bunch of junk, and you can't get rid of this junk. So what do? Well, sometimes they'll give it away at the door. That's for the real bottom tier comics. But if you got some comics who are maybe like dollar comics, they're like okay, people kind of like them. What you do is you offer a blind bag, right? So, or a mystery bag of comics, and you stuff it full of crap, and you put like 2 or 3 okay comics, and then maybe you put like, you guarantee that one of the comics is worth $5 or something. So you stick one of them in there, and then you charge $5 or you charge $10 or whatever, just to move a bunch of crap out of your inventory. So that's kind of where the blind box thing comes from. So now they're doing it in mainstream comics for new comics. So you get a blind bag, which I guess you get a different cover or a different comic with. I don't know. So now you're getting a blind pin too. Can't wait until they start doing that with action figures, and you could spend $60 for a bunch of action figures, and one of them's a mystery. It's basically gambling. That's all it is. It's gambling when you get right down to it, because you're making people believe, oh, there'll be something good in there. Maybe I'll get one with a good thing. Oh, it's cheap too. Maybe I'll like the comics. You like kind of talk yourself into it and then buy it. Roger Allers, the Lion King director, dies at 76. Oh no. R.I.P. Melissa Leo said she had a much better career before winning Best Supporting Oscar. I don't remember her. What is she in? Melissa Leo. The Fighter. Oh, okay. That's why I don't know her. I didn't see The Fighter. That's a Christian Bale movie. Right? Yeah. Guns Up, Long Gone Heroes, King Ivory, The Cleanup Crew. Got a long career, I'll tell you that. Been in a lot of things. Homicide, the movie. So, a lot of stuff. Righteous Kill. Oh, that movie looked awful. Dolly Parton's Heartstrings TV series. All right. Oop. Oh, past it. There we go. What else? All right, moving on to the Hollywood Reporter. Did I close one of my tabs? No, I just got them in the wrong order. Shelved 60-minute segment on El Salvador prison to finally air. So everybody will claim it's edited and censored, and I don't know what good it'll do now. Nobody wants this. Producer Sarah Foster recalls being offended by date with George Clooney. I'd be offended by George Clooney too. The fall and rise of Reggie Dinkins review. Tracy Morgan and Daniel Radcliffe make an appealing odd couple in NBC's sports mockumentary. I like Tracy Morgan. I don't know. Maybe I'll catch it on some sort of platform. I got TV again, so maybe. Saturday Night Live spoofs heated rivalry with Harry Potter characters and heated wizardry. Don't care. 28 years later, the Bone Temple falls to Avatar with soft $15 million weekend opening. Oh, they're going to count Monday because people are off. But not everybody's off. But a few people are. Oh, this is big news, everybody. Bleep, bleep, bleep. No, wait. Arriba, arriba, arriba. Speedy Gonzalez movie is in the works, my friends, with Jorge R. Gutierrez to direct for Warner Brothers. The charming mouse is Looney Tunes staple, who was most recently seen on the big screen Space Jam: A New Legacy. I thought this was a racist stereotype. I don't know. Didn't they call him a racist stereotype at one point? It's not a Speedy Gonzalez movie unless it also features his cousin, what is it? Slow-mo. Is it Slow-mo or Slowpoke Rodriguez? I think that's his name. What's his name? He's got a cousin. Speedy Gonzalez cousin. Slowpoke. I think it's Slowpoke Rodriguez. Yeah, Slowpoke Rodriguez, the slowest mouse in Mexico. I want to see him. I want to see him most of all. I do want to see Speedy, though. I mean, it could be fun. If it's funny. You can't call it racist because George R. Gutierrez is directing it. So, it's okay if a Hispanic dude directs it, I guess. So, plot details have not been shared. Writer has not been announced. Pick me. I'd write a Speedy Gonzalez movie. That would be fun. I'd make it funny. Because I'd first say, you have to put Slowpoke Rodriguez in it. Because he's just funny on his own. You have to put him in the beginning of the movie, like he's doing something to help Speedy, but like he's super slow at it, and then like the movie just moves on without him, and then later in the movie, like at the end, we catch up to him and he's finally there. All right, what's next? Over at Bounding into Comics? Can't even read this headline. Come on, man. Don't put white behind white lettering. What are you doing? Here, you got to be kidding me. From Avatar to Ash to Mickey 17, here are the 10 best live action films of 2025. Are you out of your mind? You got to be kidding me to put Mickey 17 on this? This movie bombed hard. Everybody hated this movie, I guess, except this guy. One battle after another. Oh, come on. Bounding in the Comics? Is this a joke? Is this a parody? Wow. One battle after another. Best movie of 2025, according to Bounding in the Comics, everybody. Number 2, Sentimental Value. This is getting all kinds of Oscar buzz. I don't know. It looks boring to me. Frankenstein. I mean, maybe it deserves to be on the list. I hear it looks great. It does look pretty cool. Superman? No. Sorry. I saw Superman. It's a serviceable enough movie, but it's not even one I... 28 years later? What are you, high? This movie sucked. Oh, man, the suckage. Sinners, okay. I guess I would... I mean... What would be at the top? Sisu 2 didn't come out until 2026, so I can't put that as number 1. This might be the best movie. Although there's one scene in it's really cringe, man. But the rest of the movie's fine. Weapons. Not a movie I would recommend. A lot of people like it. It's acceptable that it's on the list, I guess, but Avatar to Fire and Ass? No, I don't think this deserves to be on the list. How the hell do you pick Mickey 17? Are you high? Come on. What? Final Destination Bloodlines? Not according to Jay. I think it was JEC who saw that movie. Or was it Indie Phantom? You didn't even... Look, it's supposed to be 10, jackass. 9, 1. How do you get the numbering of a top 10 list wrong? That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, Bounding into Comics. Woof. Woofa. Leaked details of Sony's canceled Black Cat Silver Sable team up are everything wrong with their take on Spider-Man characters. Now that just that sounds like a good idea, right? A Black Sable, Black Cat movie, that would be two characters that could potentially, in a very loose sense, maybe support their own franchise. Maybe. They're popular enough. If you got a hot women to do it, they're kind of in the same mode of hot women. They're a little sketchy. They're supposed to steal something. And Sony's Silver and Black fiasco is back from the litter box, and as most things drags out of a studio vault to years after collecting dust, it's not pretty. The latest round of resurfaced leaks reminded everyone why this project crashed out in the first place, why Black Cat fans still recoil at the mere mention of her scrapped, reimagined origin. Like, this is a character you'd have to get like Margot Robbie or some other piece of hotness to play it. Originally announced in 2017 with Gina Prince Blythewood attached. Let's see what she looks like. Anybody know this chick? I don't know this chick. Okay, so they already race swapped her. Nah. If you're gonna race swap her, that chick who played Domino might have been okay. Nah, she's too mid for me. It was a female-led espionage thriller. It had a villain buffet featuring Scorpion, Tarantula, Chameleon, Tombstone, the gaunt robot master Mendel Strom, and even Norman Osborn? Most would agree that's not a movie. That's a studio emptying a filing cabinet. Sounds like it was going to be a disaster. Either way, there's now a transformation scene gaining notoriety thanks to an insider who claimed to see some storyboards. As described by comicbook.com's Matthew Aguilar, in the scrapped 2021 Black Cat film, Felicia attends a costume party in goth attire, has a breakdown in a bathroom, smears her makeup into the familiar mask shape, and emerges as Black Cat. That's not a hero's origin story. That's a reject montage from mid-2000s teen drama or Crow sequel. Yeah, that doesn't sound great. Okay, so not much more info than that. But this could have worked if you introduced them as their characters. You know, the way I would do it is Black Cat stealing something. She gets caught, and Black Sable is working with the government, as she's wont to do, and says, we'll let you out of prison, but you got to steal something for us. And then it's like Black Cat and Silver Sable team up, and they have to, I don't know, steal something from some bad guys. And like Black Cat knows them from her criminal, doings, and Sable is an uptight bee who needs to loosen up, and they become friends, and they uncover a bigger conspiracy, and they use their powers, and blah, blah, blah. You get it. You could write it. Let me get back. Why can't I get back to the main page? There we go. Marvel TV boss says Vision Quest closes WandaVision Parenthood trilogy by asking, can a man who had an abusive father be a good father himself? The Vision had an abusive father? He's an android. Yeah, dear God. I don't even want to know. Axe, the hunt for Ben Solo's Star Wars film, not completely off the table. Anything's a possibility if someone's willing to take a risk. No, anything's a possibility if you want to waste more money, Disney. Who the hell wants to see this? I guess you could build it on Adam Driver's fan base, but I don't think he wants to do it. Kathleen Kennedy says The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson never did more Star Wars because he was spooked by online negativity. There were some other headlines that sort of disputed that this week. I don't care. I won't go see a Rian Johnson movie. I don't want to see that Knives Out crap. No, thank you. It's crap to me. That's my opinion. No, thank you. Disney's Power Ranger revival ignites frenzy with Priyanka Chopra Jonas at center of Rita Repulsa buzz. I don't really care. I never watched this show, but I would greenlight it. But just make it simple. Just make it. God, they announce things and announce things and announce things. Just make it. Half the S you announce doesn't even turn out to be true. Just make movies. Just make them. Stop announcing things and make them. Marvel Comics' upcoming Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Versity series proves they still have no idea to do with Miles Morales. I mean, at this point, I don't know what you do with Black Spider-Man. You could shelve him. You can give him his own series, I guess. Who cares? I mean, just do something with him. If they actually ran comic book companies for money, I have no doubt that they would cancel most of the line, if not the entire line, and reboot the whole universe and start over. But, I mean, you can keep running it like this, I guess. Beer and Bullets review number 1, The Slugs Fly While the Suds Flow in this action-packed indie crossover. I like the name of that. So that's an indie comic. Marvel Studios developing a few things involving Marvel Zombies animated series, but nothing official. I so don't care about Marvel Zombies. I never liked it as a comic, never liked it as a TV show. All right, moving on to Deadline. More on Kathleen Kennedy. If you want to read about her crash out or whatever you want to call it. More on the report on El Salvador. More on the Lion King director. More on Taylor Sheridan. More on the box office. More on Billy Bob Thornton. Now, here's a headline that wasn't in the others. Donald Trump says he'll sign an EO to mandate exclusive broadcast window for Army-Navy game. Not sure what that's going to do. And that's about it. All right, moving on to Bleeding Fool. NBC pulls Law and Order SVU episode amid Timothy Busfield's scandal. If you haven't heard about this, he's been accused of some pretty heinous crimes. He's married to Melissa Gilbert, so the first it came out, all the charges, he was arrested or turned himself in, and now this week, or a few days ago, the cavalry came, and his wife, Melissa Gilbert, kind of defended him, although not directly, and then the cast of his old show, 30-something, defended him. So who knows if he's guilty, but I don't know. Looks pretty dark. But people have been arrested before, and it turns out they're not guilty of anything. So you never know. Adam Sandler vows 50 more films before he's dead. Why you gotta threaten us, Adam? Why you gotta threaten us like that? It's not nice. I was just sitting here, reading about movies. Now you gotta threaten me like that? Come on. It's not cool. More on Scott Adams. If you didn't hear, Scott Adams finally passed. It was very sad. Very sad. Let's see. President Trump says no to any pardon for Sean Diddy Combs. So there's that. Rob Reiner, murder case stalls as defense walks away. They had a high-priced attorney for him, but now I don't know who's going to get. It sounds like the rumor is that the family cut off the money, which makes sense because, you just want. I mean, I wouldn't give him any money to defend himself at this point. I think they know he's guilty, and they just want him put away for as long as possible. Because if there's any chance that Nick Reiner would get out, who would have to take care of him? His family. Who would be the first people he would go to? Would be his brother and his sister, his remaining family. I wouldn't want that. If I was that brother, I'd be like, no, you got to put him away for the rest of his life. He never gets out, never sees the light of day. That's all you could do. That's all you could do. Here's some more reviews. I didn't do this review. I did my own review of Amazon's Fallout, episode 2, season 2, episode 5, The Wrangler. They're kind of stretching it out, but it's been better this season. Here's a review of Star Trek Starfleet Academy is just woke Trek 101. Yep. Moving on to the wrap. Zootopia 2 is now Hollywood's highest-grossing animated film ever with $1.7 billion. It has to hit $2 billion to beat China's Ne Zha 2, which is the highest-grossing animated movie worldwide, allegedly. The Chinese may be fudging the numbers to some extent there. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms release guide. When do new episodes come out? If you're interested in that. I mean, I just don't. Look. It's gonna go bad, is my take. It's a lighter show. That's a good idea. But I don't want anything to do with any Game of Thrones stuff. Not after getting burned by the first show. Second show looks like it's burning fans now. But we'll see. Daily Beast settles defamation lawsuit with former Trump campaign manager Chris LaCivita. Okay. Nobel Peace Prize doubles down on no sharing Peace Prize stance after Machado gifted to Trump, not even symbolically. You can't stop a person from sharing. If you give me an award, I'm just going to hand. So what? Make her give it. So okay. She doesn't share it. She just gives it to him. How about that? More on SNL, of course, because the Hollywood trades can't stop doing articles about Saturday Night Live's sketches. They just can't. Over at Cosmic Book News, Zack Snyder drops Justice League sequel bombshells and a rare look at Ezra Miller's Flash. Don't care. Don't want to see it. You want to bring Ezra back and Zack Snyder? Go ahead. I think it would be a disaster, but you do you, Hollywood. 28 years later, the Bone Temple box office massively bombs. I don't know about massively, but it seems to be a bomb. Avengers Doomsday teasers surpassed a billion views as Marvel thanks fans. Well, that's a good thing. A little too late, but at least you're thanking the fans as opposed to telling them they're bad people. You better start begging the fans back. That's what you need to do. You better start giving crap away. Start giving away comics and t-shirts right now. Keep doing it until that movie comes out. There were some DCU Batman script and test screening rumors. James Gunn shut them down. Jon Snow and Sansa Stark are lovers in a twisted new horror movie called The Dreadful. You can make your own critics joke there. It actually looks okay, by the way. Marissa Gay Harden is the sort of lead villain in it. Looks okay. Might be watchable, I don't know. Kevin Smith is writing comics again, everybody. I know you're excited to hear that. He launches Bizarro Year None comic at DC 1 of 4, because I know nothing excites fans more than buying one comic and knowing you have to buy 3 more to get the whole story. Just launch it as a graphic novel, DC. Netflix and Sony strike a landmark global deal for movie streaming rights. So Sony's going to Netflix. So I guess some money was exchanged there. And more on Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, here you go. George R.R. Martin says House of the Dragon relationship is abysmal. So I guess they've got some lesbian tryst going on at House of the Dragon. Was that... now this is the creator of Game of Thrones saying this. So why would I watch this show now? I told you, I was waiting. I said, I'll wait till the whole run's done. If they don't woke it up with a bunch of nonsense, maybe I'll watch it. There you go. Out. There you go. Got better things to do. Over at That Park Place, Dave Ellison mounts a European pressure campaign as Warner Brothers deal faces growing global resistance. Really don't understand how this is going to work, since Warner Brothers and I assume Netflix are both in America. I mean, I guess this is some amount of pressure, right? They'll pressure the European Union to boycott the deal? How would that work exactly? Doesn't make any sense. Pretty sure only America has that kind of jurisdiction, but I guess you could try? So, I mean, you could make it very expensive for Netflix to buy Warner Brothers and then maybe turn them off of the deal, but it seems like a poor strategy to me. Disney offers first look at inside Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin refurbishment at Magic Kingdom. Okay. There's a petting zoo closing at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So that's exciting. I know that made a lot of kids happy. We're closing the petting zoo, everyone. Where are the animals going? Don't you worry, we'll still get your money, little boy. Oh, here it is. Rian Johnson publicly contradicts Kathleen Kennedy's claim that he was spooked by Star Wars fans. So he's not confirming it. Is Kathleen Kennedy taking a dig at him? Maybe. Over at Geeks and Gamers, more on the box office. Access Media cries review bombing as Star Trek Starfleet Academy audience scores collapse. What was the Rotten Tomatoes on this? 43%. That's no good. That's a stinker. 87 from the critics. What critic worth his salt? You should, any critic that would champion this show has got to be woke, number one, in my opinion, and number two, in my opinion, has got to be one of the worst critics ever. Would push anything. If you're going to push Starfleet, you know what Paul Chato called it? Paul Chato's a YouTuber. He's pretty funny. He used to be a studio executive. He called it Melrose Space, which I thought was brilliant. I mean, yeah, there you go. That's from Star Trek Starfleet Academy. There's Holly Hunter. God, she's terrible in this show, too. There's your Jem Hadar. Oh, God. Over at Breitbart, socialists to spread Minneapolis rebellion, war on ice intensifies. I'm kind of surprised Trump didn't invoke the Insurrection Act. But now You got Governor Tim Walz sending out the National Guard. I don't know how that's going to work exactly. Does he get to order the National Guard? Will they fight the ICE agents? They better not. He'll be going to prison real quick if that happens. So I'm not sure what's happening here. Did they just pull him aside and go, look, you better call out the National Guard and get your state under control, or we're going to throw you in prison for the rest of your life? Maybe he got a call like that. I don't know. DOJ investigating if Renee Good's partner impeded agent before fatal shooting. Oh boy, she would go to prison for her death if that was true. Bruce Springsteen dedicates Promised Land to anti-ICE extremist Renee Good, calls ICE Gestapo and murderers. So the boss still got TDS pretty bad. How'd your movie do? Oh yeah, that didn't do good. A lot of socialist news tonight. Socialist Spanish PM Sanchez calls for creation of European armed forces over Trump's Greenland threats. Good luck with that. Good luck for paying for that, you socialist moron. Trump planning EO to block postseason football from interfering with Army-Navy game. Oh man, I got the hiccups. And the usual stuff, more on ICE and drone strikes in Russia. Drone strikes cut power to 200,000 homes in Russia-occupied Ukraine. Oh, okay, not in Russia, but Ukraine. It was soon to be Russia. All right, let's check entertainment, because that's what we're really here for. More on Bruce Springsteen. Roger Waters defends murderous Iranian regime amid protest. One man's terrorism is another man's freedom fighting. Not so sure you can defend the Iranian regime sensibly, Roger. I think you're really making a mistake there. I mean, you can make arguments that, the West is messing around in the Middle East. Certainly I would love to see us pull out of the Middle East. But I don't want to pull out of the Middle East because Iran is doing good. Iran is not to be trusted, in my view. Hollywood death spiral. Bank to foreclose on historic studios after loan default. Well, that's going to be interesting. Imagine a bank running a movie studio. That could be funny. They're taking ownership over a historic Los Angeles TV and film studio because the current owner has defaulted on a $1.1 billion loan. As Hollywood continues its collapse, Goldman Sachs is reportedly on the verge of taking control of the famous Radford Studio Center in Studio City, California, because Hackman Capital Partners can't seem to come up with the cash to stay current on its mortgage. Oh, there's Rob Schneider reporting on it. Radford, where series such as Seinfeld and Gilligan's Island were filmed, was founded in 1927 when silent film producer Mark Sennett opened the facility at Ventura Boulevard and Radford Avenue. I don't know if I went to that one when I lived in LA. I think I did. I tried to go to them all. It must have definitely been there. The studio became the California home for CBS in the early 60s before being bought outright by the TV giant in 67 when it became the base for production facilities, other famed shows, including Gunsmoke, Get Smart. Oh, I love Get Smart so much. Get Smart was one of the funniest shows ever. I can watch Get Smart any day of the week. My Three Sons, Bob Newhart, another classic. Mary Tyler Moore, pretty good. So many more. Wow. Well, it was just a building. At the end of the day, it was just a building. Or several buildings. Fans celebrate the end of Kathleen Kennedy's disastrous reign over Star Wars. Oh, I wish there was a picture of people celebrating. No, there isn't. I would love to see that. A bunch of people dressed in Star Wars characters, like opening the champagne and pouring it on themselves. Yay! Duck Dynasty stars say Seattle, San Francisco, unlivable trash heaps due to the woke leadership, a whole lot like hell. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But again, you know, the Duck Dynasty stars saying that doesn't make me want to watch Duck Dynasty. I still don't want to watch it. It's not my kind of show, although it has some hunting in it, I guess. But, like, it doesn't really do you any good. It just puts you on one side of the aisle and alienates some of your fan base. Potential, anyway. White House slams Jimmy Kimmel as a no-talent loser. Horrific ratings after he offers Trump an Emmy to pull ICE out of Minnesota. Doesn't make any sense. Why would he get an Emmy? Why would he pull Trump out of Minnesota? You don't make any sense, Jimmy. The people they're pulling out of these places, number one, are here illegally. Number two, many of them have criminal records. So if you're here illegally, you have to go. If you have a criminal record and you're still here on some sort of visa, or you know, you're in the process of becoming a citizen, doesn't matter. You got to go. You committed crimes. You got a warrant. You're gone. And if you have been involved in this Somali fraud, I think it's time for you to go too. Unless you're a full-blown citizen, in which case it might be tougher to get rid of you. You might have to be denaturalized. I could see that being a possibility. I see that being a big legal entanglement, though. Probably, you know, denaturalizing a full-blown citizen could take years, and you should get a trial for that, obviously, because you're already a citizen. So that might be a non-starter. It might cost too much money. But hell, if you committed this fraud, oh, you should go to jail. To jail. Let's see. Woke fail. Sydney Sweeney's The Housemaid sweeps past $200 million at worldwide box office. How's that a fail? And how is it woke? Oh, you mean woke? The woke people trying to cancel Sydney, maybe. Okay, that makes sense. Nashville Hall of Famer Jeffrey Steele gives a voice to the voiceless in stirring free speech anthem. We all need to be part of the Charlie Kirk choir. Okay. Grammy-winning singer Julio Iglesias denies sexual abuse allegations, calling them absolutely untrue. I don't know anymore. These accusations, they fly fast and loose in Hollywood, it seems. Here was a strange headline. Madonna admits to taking freedom for granted while championing the Iranian protesters. She stands with them. She says, I stand with them. Finally, some celebrity took a stance I could agree with. But again, you've taken so many that I go, get away from me. This kind of balances it out a little bit, but just don't do it anymore, Madonna. Law and Order star Chris Maloney compares ICE to Nazis, calls Trump a pedo in unhinged rants. Don't do this. It just makes me go, oh, SVU, I don't want to watch that. Megan Rapinoe, Elliot Page, Naomi Watts appear in ACLU ad supporting trans youth. I don't even know what that means. And Queer Eye star Jonathan Van Ness trashes ICE, secret police force, murdering citizens in the street. I mean, do you people hear yourselves? Do you hear yourselves? Is there any proof of that? Do you honestly think there's a secret police running around murdering people, like on a regular basis? And that's happening. I mean, these people are accusing ICE of putting people in concentration camps. Do you have any idea how unhinged you sound when you say this stuff? That's absolutely not happening. Being detained is not a concentration camp. People who went to concentration camps I mean, that's an insult to the people who survived the Holocaust. It's an absolute insult to them. They went through a horrific nightmare. Being detained because you're an illegal alien in this country, that's nothing. It's nothing compared to that. The worst case scenario is you'll be sent back to your home country. That's it. They put you on a plane. Sometimes they give you money. I think you have to do that voluntarily, though. They put you on a plane and you're never allowed to come back here again. The bad guys from Germany absolutely did not do that. That's not what they did at all. Bob Weir died this week. He was a founder of the Grateful Dead. Oh, I missed this headline. Dylan Mulvaney cast in Broadway Women's History Musical 6. So Broadway still woke as F. Who the F would pay for that? Oh, we're doing a movie about women's history. Oh, we gotta cast a transgender person because we're stunning and brave. Oh, I'm so brave. Yeah, me too. You cast a man in a history play about women's history. It's woke-tarded. Totally woke-tarded. And on that woke-tarded note, I think we're going to wrap up. Well, let's drop in on New York Post, let's say. Here's, this is Eric Swalwell. He's the guy who slept with a Chinese spy. This is like 100% confirmed. He slept with a Chinese spy back in the day while he was a representative of Congress. And somehow, not only is he still in Congress, he's now running for mayor or governor of California. And he could win. He could win. Gavin Newsom's not going to run anymore. I don't think he can. It's crazy. Let's see. Legendary band's anniversary tour nixed after lead singer demands 600% more money. And that would be Guns N' Roses? No, Poison. Poison, everybody. Okay. Don't care about Poison. Never thought they were good. Who just came in? Joe Meir Hobbs. Am I saying that right? Hello. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. Welcome. Just about to wrap up, really. I'm on the last paper. Thin ice. Minneapolis mayor rips ICE's immigration crackdown during blistering CNN interview. Invaded by our own federal government. Shut up, Fry. Shocked homeowners find 100-year-old letter hidden inside their house. You never know what you will come across. Oh, cool. I can't find anything cool in my house. New details emerge after Kiefer Sutherland accused of assaulting an Uber driver. Why would he even take an Uber? Isn't he rich? Kiefer Sutherland's got to be rich. How could he not be rich? All right, we got to look up Kiefer Sutherland's worth. I got to highlight his name because I don't know how to spell it. Kiefer Sutherland. I'm going to look up his net worth, everybody. Here we go. Kiefer, place your bets. $100 million. $100 million. If you're worth $100 million, do you take an Uber? You let a total stranger drive you around if you're worth $100 million? Now, this is often very high. It's often very high. It's probably at least 50 million or 20 million. Even if I had like $20 million, there'd be no way I'd get into an Uber, ever. They have these town cars in big cities, right? I know they have them in New York. I assume they have them in LA somewhere. Drive you anywhere you want. It's like, forget that. Forget a limo. Call a limo. I'd have a limo. What the hell, man? You're worth $100 million. Where's your limo? Why are you in an Uber situation? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. More on SNL. Don't care. Let's see. More on New York. Keith Urban's girlfriend, don't care. Sports, don't care. Fears grow that Iran's internet blackout may turn permanent to weaken dissent. If I was in Iran, I certainly wouldn't use the internet for anything unless it was like 100% coded and I knew I was a computer nut and I could, encrypt everything. You have to encrypt everything on the internet if you want it to be secret. So that's only going to help the resistance, I think, because then they'll definitely get off the internet if there's no internet to get on. So they'll find ways to communicate, I'm sure. Hundreds of thousands of French fries wash up on UK beach as cleaners struggle to catch up. Oh, God, no! Why did so many French fries wash up? That's a beach in Sussex, England, is awash in French fries after several shipping containers containing food and packaging fell off their transport ship earlier this week, dumping thousands of bags of the salty snacks along the shore. Wow. I wonder if they're still edible. I mean, maybe you could fry them and eat them. You could. It might be okay. Can you tell I love French fries? I love French fries so much. Timothy Busfield's wife, Melissa Gilbert, she was in Little House on the Prairie, if you don't know, makes emotional plea to judge after child sex abuse arrest. Holy cow. Nancy Pelosi mocked for looking drunk during John Mayer's tribute to Grateful Dead guitarist Bob Weir. Why the F would Nancy Pelosi go to this? She's 100 million years old. Act your age, Nancy. Ah, crap. Sorry, I keep doing that. All right, what's going on here? Her seen ordering a fast food drive-thru in wild scene. It's more common than you think. No, I could see that happening. I mean, the guy in the coffin might have been a big fan of going to the drive-thru, and that was his last, his last deal. Dinosaur fossil unearthed on during parking lot construction in Utah National Park. Cool. Mystery buyer of $79.5 million ranch, 4 times the size of New York City. Wow. And larger than all of Rhode Island, revealed. Okay. Place your bets. I'm going to guess Bill Gates. He seems to be into doing stuff like that. Christopher Robinson, the guy who used to hang out with Winnie the Pooh? That's amazing. Christopher Robinson, the CEO of Ensign Group, LC, scooped up the massive 916,000-acre Pathfinder Ranchers on behalf of the land holding company and closed the deal on Jan 14th. Wow. That's a crazy amount of land. Well, at least he can get some peace and quiet. Stunned woman wakes up to find 8-foot python on her chest after it snuck through a bedroom window. Oh, I don't like that. And I think we're at the end. Elon Musk seeks up to $134 billion from OpenAI and Microsoft over wrongful gains from initial contributions. Oh man, I hope he wins. I really do. I'd love to see Microsoft get hammered. All right, I think that's it. All right, what have we learned today? Well, we learned the box office is still insanely low, but not as insane as Halloween last year. We learned that Melissa Gilbert is trying to be a good wife, defending her husband, even though he's up on some very dark charges. What else? What else? Oh, we learned, of course, that Starfleet Woke Academy is not going to garner much sympathy from anybody. We learned that Kathleen Kennedy probably sort of left Star Wars, but she'll probably sort of try to make some more Star Wars stuff before she leaves for some reason. And we've also learned, as we learn every week on this podcast, Hollywood never listens. That should be my sign off. I like that. Hollywood never listens, or Hollywood never learns. Nope, Hollywood never listens. And that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon should really listen to fans like me and never, ever, ever talk about politics ever again. All right? So that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan somewhere behind me, and Guest Dog, who came in here several times. I'm going to wrap it up here. Next week, I will be at the... Where am I going? There it is. Salem County Comic Con from 9 to 3. So I should be back in plenty of time to do the live stream. So that won't be a problem. So come on out for that. On Wednesday, I'll be on the Werewolf podcast. We'll be discussing the Royal Tenenbaums movie. So it's like a group discussion with some other creators about movies. So that's a movie I saw, and they invited me onto the podcast. So I'm psyched. I like the Royal Tenenbaums. That was a good flick. I think that's probably Wes Anderson's best flick. I kind of like him in general, but that one really, I think, holds together the best. And as always, check out the Pineys. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan and Guest Dog Stella. We'll see you in the next one.